So good.
Pretty good. I'm not complaining.
What do you guys do for Thanksgivings normally?
Eat food.
Yeah. Your family, Shannon's family?
No family. We had a Friendsgiving this year. So
Okay.
we had people over the weekend before. So basically what I'm saying is I've been having turkey and all the fixins as leftovers for almost 2 full weeks, which is incredible.
Are you sick of turkey yet?
I'm good now. Now I'm good. I don't need turkey for at least another week. No, seriously, it was a lot of food. And like we go all out, and there weren't many people. And then for actual Thanksgiving, it was just us and my daughter's little and fussy. So lots of food for me. Yeah. Yep. Definitely put on the freshman 15 this last couple weeks.
How about you, Steve?
It's called holiday weight. What'd you say, Emily?
How about you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was good. We've ever since Lisa's mom passed, we go up to basically her brother's in-laws. So they're my in-laws' essentially. They've invited us up, and so it ends up being a bigger gathering. Lisa tends to make pies, so and Lisa makes a killer apple pie. So she took up an apple pie and a pumpkin pie, and there were some other desserts, and we had always have some good food. There are 2 turkeys, 2 different turkeys. Lisa's brother does a smoked turkey, which is the best bird I've ever eaten. And then his mother-in-law does a traditional like oven roasted turkey, but the smoked turkey is so moist, even the white meat and everything. It's just the flavor. Word. It's spectacular.
You're not supposed to say that word. It bothers a lot of people.
Is there any other way to describe a good turkey, my friend?
Damn.
Saturated? I don't know. It's a good question.
Juicy? Oh, juicy. A juicy turkey.
Juicy's borderline.
Is that weird?
But acceptable. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember. I don't remember which designer it was. Had pants that had that across the rear when we were probably in high school or college or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. I think my wife had about 4 Juicy Couture velour jumpsuits in her what's the word I'm looking for? Her
wardrobe.
Yeah, when we first started dating. It was a good look for her. Yeah. It was the timing was right. So
yeah, it was very in.
Yeah, she was all about it. She still talks about it. She misses that. That's a fashion trend that she misses for sure.
I kind of don't love that it's so acceptable for kids these days to just wear sweats. But I have to be honest, when I wake up and I have to run to the grocery store really early on a weekend day, I love the trend. I'm like, I'm going in my PJs. No one will know. This is great. I love this trend. Yeah. I hope it never dies.
As somebody who works from home now, I definitely get it. Just wear the same outfit for 4 days straight. It's great.
Are you in like professional attire from the waist up and then PJs?
Often. Like right now, I'm rocking a hoodie for this, but underneath it, I have the polo shirt that I wore to work today. To work, meaning sitting in this exact spot. You know, so I have like sweatpants with a polo shirt and a sweatshirt over it. So I'm ready. I'm ready for business. I'm ready for business or pleasure here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's professional from the waist up, comfort from the waist down. It's pretty standard work from home attire or television talking head personality attire. Let's be honest, right? Suit and then whatever. So,
making it count.
It never occurred to me that people who do stuff on TV are also probably dressed in their PJs from the waist down.
You have to be careful though, because there's other people in the studio. They can take pictures of you if you look really stupid. If you have like basketball shorts on with dress clothes.
Yeah.
So that's the only, I just have to make sure that I don't make my wife mad enough that she does that to me.
And you got to make sure the camera is cut to the commercial before you stand up from behind that desk and walk out.
Hi guys, see you all in the chat. Let's get started.
Everyone.
Let's do this.
Welcome to the Pondcast, the Taylor Room Show, where the hearts are cold and knowledge flows. Turtles, tortoises, and conservation too. Stories of the wild, variety
I can never get over me standing there in the pouring rain measuring that turtle on camera. Like, oh man, just that day, man, soaked to your core.
A
was quite a
day that will live in infamy. It reminds me of
Indeed.
like the old NFL films specials. They've like the Ice Bowl or Super Bowl
Yeah,
V or whatever.
right.
The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that moment to tell a funny story from college real quick.
Yeah.
So my freshman year of college, me, my roommate, and the two guys from across the hall, we were playing. And so like, we're talking, this is 2001 to 2002, right? So we're talking like an old Madden game on PC. But so we were playing this Madden league together, and we decided that we were going to make the conditions in the room match the weather the computer generated for the game as closely as possible. Okay. So it's like February and we're playing Madden, and I think it's Steelers at Bears because it was me and my roommate, and the weather the game generated, it was snowing. It was like in the teens. Well, it was February in Pennsylvania. We opened the windows and cranked up the fans to blow the cold air in. And my roommate, you know how I love the cold, right? But my roommate is sitting there with the controller in his hoodie pocket to play because of how bitterly cold the room was. So anyway, you mentioning, those made me remember that moment from college, which it's always college kids being dumb, right? Like,
I love it. I never knew about that story. All these years, I never knew about that one. That's terrific.
That's hilarious. It's a good thing you did that for Madden, but not for a game like, I don't know, Super Mario, where there's a water level, because I was curious how you would do that one. But
yeah, we couldn't create the precipitation, but we could definitely try to cool that room down or crank the heat up. So,
I love that. So we were just talking about the intro. We have had this new intro since February, which was our 119th Pondcast. In case anyone was
Wow,
wondering.
look at that.
Yeah.
Drop a little trivia. I could, if you told me I had to tell you when that like officially came in, I wouldn't have been able to do that. They start to blend together after about 120 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Everything just blends together in your mind.
Oh, we're on 128 now. Look at that.
I know. It's probably more like after 60 episodes or something, but yeah, they've been blending together in my mind for a long time.
Oh, do you want to do? We could do more trivia. That'd be fun. Do you want to do trivia?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? This is year in the review, everybody. So we're just going to be talking about the podcast, the Turtle Room, what's gone on. So take it away, Emily. Yeah.
All right, let's see. So I did throw this into the group chat earlier this week, but maybe some of you remember, maybe some of you don't. What episode this year do you think / remember had the most views so far on our YouTube?
Is this going to be that people in the chat can answer, or should we answer right now?
I think. Oh, that's a good question.
Because I know the answer.
I remember the answer for sure.
Do you? Okay, well then that's an easy one. Go ahead, shout it out, Steve.
Steve, do it.
It would have been the one that we had at the beginning of the year with the Colonia Cast guys.
Yeah, Michael Skibstead, Wyatt, Jack, and Alex. Yep.
That was January's episode, right?
Yep. Yeah, episode 118.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Sam said post TSA.
Yeah.
Not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. My point afterwards is after we looked at these numbers is really they've had time to accumulate. So the ones that we just did recently had less.
Right, but like that one is third, I think.
Yeah.
Right, and that was only in August. So that was the early August one.
The Justin Berezin one was really popular.
Berezin, yeah.
Sam probably shared it. That's why. We got that star power. So does Exotics. I love it.
Yeah, that was our third most popular one. Our second most popular one was actually in April. I wasn't even there, so I don't know what that says about me, but I was in Italy. That was for Angelina Carnival, the turtle rehabber.
Oh, right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. She might have brought some of her own peeps. The rehabbers have their own community. It's kind of a subset community.
Mhm.
talk all the time about keepers versus like private keepers versus zookeepers versus the biologists. There's definitely a subset of rehabbers who kind of work together, have their own community.
Yeah, yeah, they're another subset, but yeah.
Like a subspecies almost. She has definitely a cult following, at least around Connecticut for sure. I know a lot of people around here go to her because we don't have a lot of turtle rehabbers in Connecticut. So
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work too. So there are some new ones, which is great, but a lot of them can't take on what Ange does. And Ange is just getting to the point where she could start to fill Pam's shoes because she was the biggest rehabber here and she moved to Maine. So
yeah.
just some, rehabber gossip for you guys.
Ooh.
Background information on the
love goss.
rehabber scene up here in the Northeast.
Let's see. We had, okay, here's another fun one. This isn't really trivia. This is just a fun fact. In March, we had Scott Thompson, and my only notes for that episode was the episode where we kept playing bird music, and then everyone in the comments was just like, do you hear birds? I hear birds. Who has birds going on? And then they thought it was us. And then they thought maybe it was Scott, and then turns out Steve and we were all just playing a fun joke on everybody.
I don't remember being in on that joke. I remember thinking the birds were coming from like Scott's apartment. Like,
no, I remember. We knew. I thought no.
I was like outside the window or something. I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. He's doing it again.
Yeah, I love it. I thought it was
so
hilarious.
It's so subtle that it does sound like it could be coming from somebody's feed.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Totally.
I think maybe you wrote in our private chat here. So for everyone who's listening and doesn't know, we have a secret private chat amongst the three of us. And I think maybe Steve, you wrote in there and you were like, I'm going to play some bird sounds and see if anyone notices. And then maybe you just didn't see it, Anthony.
That's probably what happened. Yeah, I wasn't in on it because I wasn't paying attention. Geez, the TTPG crowd is hitting the chat hard right now.
I love
What's
it.
up, everybody?
Thanks for joining us, guys.
So many folks.
Just the birds. Yeah.
I love this. Do you feel like, Emily, like you know a lot of these folks a lot better now that you were able to attend TTPG?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, it is so wonderful to have a face to the names that I see in chat all the time. And these are people that I see on social media, but I've never met in person. So like meeting everyone for the first time, it just took me a minute. I was like, I know your face. Wait a sec. And then someone would introduce themselves and I'm just like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. So that was really great. And yeah, thank you everyone for being so nice and introducing yourselves. And it was really lovely.
It was great to have you there. I say all the time, like you were like out there doing these huge, big things, which you still do, on top of new things that you've added to the mix and all of that. But like, I knew Emily pretty well because of her work at Riverside Reptiles Education Center here in Connecticut. And I just like, man, like there's somebody who gets it. There's somebody who could be such an amazing part of like, our community. If I could try to find a way to get her involved. And I did it because I knew it was right, but I never had confidence that it would get to the point that it's at, because I mean, you're like working with spitting cobras and venomous snakes and crocodilians and you're like falconry and all this amazing stuff that is so much cooler than like anything in the world to like any regular person, and then here I am, the huge guy who likes little turtles. And I'm like, do you want to get involved with this podcast? Because we really need some help. And you're like, yeah, okay. And then here we are, however long later. Is it like 2 years now? It feels like a year. So it's probably 2 years.
It's almost two. Yeah.
Yeah. And and then you're attending TTPG and you're like, one of us. It's amazing. And I was very proud too. I know you have plans, and I don't know if this is good that I jumped into the TTPG conference stuff, but
go for it.
Having you there and then having Mark and Kevin presenting for the first time and everything, I was just so proud to have this group of like Northeast folks there. Obviously, Tony and Chris presented together, which are two of my favorite people here from the Northeast. It was just and then Chris Lekowitz presented on a lot of the content that Steve helped him on, and that Steve presented at TSA. So it just felt really special to me.
I was there in 2 talks without actually being there.
It's true.
You were, yeah. You came up a few times.
That's when you know you're winning. Yep.
You know
And
what?
I see, Dan, I see your comment there. Yeah, the number of comments I get every year, like, oh, when we wish you were here. When are you going to make it out to one? So add another one to that tally. But yeah, so we had our big giving event. It has been lining up with that conference as well. So between being a school teacher and that and everything else, I ended up here. We had a great, awesome day on that giving event, which we'll come back to that and tell everybody who hasn't seen it yet just how well we did. And so we thank anybody out there who donated that day. You made a huge impact, and we'll come back to that in a bit.
Can I just say one piece on that before we continue
Yeah.
forward? So we have such a TTPG heavy audience right here, right now, which we appreciate so much. I just love the organization and the people involved, everyone who attends, everyone who can't attend but wishes they could attend. The TTPG is doing really great things and is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's deservedly so. It feels weird on some level to be trying to look for donations during the TTPG conference. So I just want to call that out. That it's really just the way that falls. The Extra Give program that we're a part of, that's really the biggest thing to support our organization at this point on an annual basis is a local program that takes place in the Lancaster County, Pennsylvania area, which is where the Turtle Room is headquartered. So it really is just a big local thing that just happens the last 2 years to fall right on the week of TTPG, right in the middle of the busiest day of conference talks and stuff. So if you saw us on, I just want everyone to know that, like, we're not trying to use the TTPG or anything like that, or step on toes in any way. It just happened to be that day. And then also Emily and I just happened to be together because of TTPG. So we just jumped on together to do some live streaming to see if we can, let people know about what we were trying to do with the Extra Give. So if anyone was concerned, I just wanted to call that out. It feels a certain way, and we certainly don't want to step on any toes for our friends at the TTPG. The success for that partner organization, because the work they're doing is so important.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was fun doing those little mini-sodes with you, Anthony, in person.
Oh yeah, I loved it. It felt good. It felt right.
Yeah.
I've
Definitely.
been on many nonprofit boards, none ever more important than the Turtle Room, but like it always feels odd to me. And I have people skills, I feel like, but I never have felt comfortable asking for money. And that's such an important part of being on a board. Now, I do it and I've done it and all of that, but it's different. It's just, when you have to go and solicit and it's that time, whatever. But what we did just felt right. It felt like, we're putting it out there in the universe. We're not pushing any individual person in general. We're putting it out there. And if people feel so inclined, awesome. And it worked out really well. And we'll get to that after.
Yeah. Yep. We could also just keep going with it if you want and circle back around to the trivia. We don't have to. We can do whatever we want. They can't stop us. Yeah.
This is all I wanted as a child.
You can steer.
To be able to make my own choices as an adult.
You're driving the snowplow, Emily.
And now I regret it. Snowplow, gross. Yeah. Oh, I had to get my snowblower running the other day because we're supposed to get snow tomorrow.
I heard that. I bet. Wait, Steve, have you already gotten snow down in Pennsylvania? I don't want to talk about it.
Just a tiny bit. We've had flurries one day, and then on Sunday we had like a dusting briefly. Tomorrow, an inch, or at least here it won't be a lot, but some northern parts of Pennsylvania will, like northeastern PA, will get 6 inches or so tomorrow. It looks like.
Can I just, as an aside, say something? I want everyone on this podcast, this Pondcast, and everyone who's in the chat and listening right now to remember this. When you're listening to podcasts, I can't tell you the amount of podcasts that the beginning, when people first get together, they talk about the weather. There are so many podcasts that it's like, it's a prerequisite. Like, you can't start talking until you're like, well, had a storm roll through. No. So just saying, I want you to maybe think about, if I was there listening with you, I would be cringing at that point. I hate talking the weather.
Well, we're 20 minutes in, so it's not like we
Correct.
opened it. Yeah,
Correct.
it's
The
okay.
opening is way worse. Opening is way worse. But I just had that thought and I wanted to share it with everyone. It's kind of like a pet peeve that I felt like I needed to share.
Okay. We will
I
not
love
talk
snow.
about weather
So
anymore.
La 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 la.
Anyway, so
I was about to say you're driving the truck, and I was like, wait, we're gonna get snow. A more specific truck for this moment is a snowplow.
driving the steering the spaceship.
Yeah, better. I like that.
Okay.
Let's go aliens. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess all I really wanted to touch on with Extra Give was how much did we end up raising, Steve?
We came $40 shy of 10,000, so $9,960. That's before taxes and fees. It's also before the stretch fund is distributed. So it's possible we'll get around 10 grand, if not a little bit more, when it actually hits our accounts in January. We'll figure out. But as for our audience, the contributions were $9,960, and then so many of you chose to cover the fees associated with credit card processing and all that the actual amount that we'll get is only about $40 less than that because of how many of you chose to cover the fees. So we want to thank you for that too.
Wow.
Of the $9,960 given, we're guaranteed at least $9,920 worth of impact. When that stretch fund gets added in there, which is we get a portion of that for each individual who chose to donate, and it was over 100 of you this year total. So we won't know the final numbers until probably January with that stretch fund. But so our goal was $8,000 to beat last year by a little bit. And so the stretch goal I had, like if we get past 8,000, like where do I want to get to? Like 10,000 was my stretch goal, and we almost beat it. So thanks to all of you. It was really awesome. Most of you have seen this on socials already, but that it covers a nice chunk of our budget for next year. It's it's not all the way covered, and so we're a nonprofit. We got to keep doing things to support the organization, but that covers that helps with all sorts of different projects that we do: education, outreach, conservation in the field. It helps keep the lights running, so to speak, and all those other bits and pieces that you need to run a nonprofit organization. So very grateful to everybody out there. And if you want to know more about how some of that stuff splits up, we talked about that a bit during some of those videos that day, which you can see in the YouTube archive. So
I actually might even have that. That was in our February episode, right? That was just a Q&A, and
yeah,
right?
We talked about some of that stuff with less specific percentages, I think. But yeah, we talked about some of that back in February as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
our 119th episode with 183 views. Here I go, bringing it full circle.
Let's not talk about the specific number because it's underwhelming and embarrassing.
Well, that's just on our YouTube. So for those of you who don't know, we stream on multiple platforms, and I only have access to the one platform. So we also are on Facebook and that other one. What's it called?
Twitch,
yeah.
Couldn't have answered that if my life depended on it. And someone did ask in the chat when we're getting our episodes back on to.
I answered that in the chat.
Apple and all that sort of stuff, which that's actually
on
on me. So it takes a long time to do all of that. So
especially when you get behind.
We'll get there. Yes, exactly.
What's involved with doing that?
So normally we've stripped the audio, then we upload the audio to the website, and then Anthony has to basically publish it on the website, and then Apple can pull from the feed.
Oh, okay.
Our website is WordPress, but it's not like the easy to use WordPress. It's like the behind the scenes, like using some code, if you want things bolded or italicized, you have to use code and all that sort of stuff. It's just, it takes a little bit of time.
It's customized to make sure the right information gets to the RSS feed. So.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's nerdy stuff like what he just said. Exactly.
Steve, do you know code? Coding?
Yeah.
What was that?
Do you know coding?
Yeah, he made our whole website with like ones and zeros.
We have a really nice website for a nonprofit, by the way.
Yeah, we do. Because your boy is special. Talking about Steven, of course. But yeah, so anyway, when I try to do, and I can do it, and Steve has been very patient with me and taught me these things over the years, but it's one of those things that just like, it snowballs and like, oh my gosh, you look up and like, wow, we haven't done that in
Right.
a
Yeah.
lot longer than
It's
I
one
like
of those
to admit.
things where if you want to make sure stuff gets into the right box in the RSS feed to display on iTunes the right way, and any other podcast provider out there, you've got to make sure it kind of can be sorted that way. You can't just like type it all in one big block and hope Apple do the rest of it. So,
But we're still getting listens, which is funny because we're getting more listens there
on old stuff.
on the old stuff than we are on the new stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. So
I
anyway,
get updates like in the last 28 days or something. We have like 700 listens or something like that, which is better than what we get on YouTube, even with new episodes going in. So,
Okay, and episode. Oh wait, that's episode 115. That was never mind. Oh gosh, I'm giving bad information. That was last year. Never mind. That was outdated trivia. On to the next one, quick, before anyone notices. I was going to reference that we did an episode once where it was just you and me, Anthony, and Steve and I had a meeting beforehand on how to run our streaming service, and it was very stressful. But I guess, yeah, he did the same thing to you, where he tried to teach you to pawn it off on you, and you were like, "Nope, here you go, take this bag."
I know my limitations. Yeah, that's terrific. We were deciding whether or not we even hold that one. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that was episode 115. So technically,
yeah, it was late. It was last fall.
I don't know why I said technically. It was definitely last year.
Yeah.
And then let's see. So we had 2 episodes in August. There was the one with Justin. That was our TSA debrief. And then we also had Cy Montgomery and Matt Patterson. That was a really good episode too.
Yeah, they're always fun to have on. If you guys haven't yet, go grab their book. They put out a new book this year. Make a great Christmas gift for folks. I thought I still had
and Lucky Life of a Turtle.
Yeah, I apparently don't have a link here. Toadstool Books, though, Toadstool Books is where you want to get it from. If you write a little note there, they can have Matt or Cy sign it the next time they're in the store. So, yeah, and just say, we watched their Pondcast episode, and just if they could sign it, I'd be willing to wait for it to be shipped. And they're normally pretty good about that. So Toadstool Books, it's a small local bookstore in the town where they live up in New Hampshire. So support local.
Yeah, and that was episode 125 if anyone would like to watch it. And then more stuff on TSA. We also had Lance Payton. Did I say that right?
Yep.
He talked about his fieldwork in Madagascar. That was episode 126. That one was a good one too.
Yeah, it totally was. Having someone just to talk. Honestly, I feel like I could live vicariously through people like him and Brett Bartek and not have to get my big butt on a puddle jumper plane to try to get to Madagascar and travel for a week on each end of the trip to try to make it to and from. Because what they go through even just to get there is so incredible. But then obviously the work they're doing is so important. So really inspiring stuff, and being able to partner in any way and provide even our small platform for somebody like that to be able to talk about the heroic stuff that they're doing is really special.
Yeah. So I think that makes it, is that 3 books that we were correlated with today or this year? Maybe correlated is not the right word, but that we were affiliated with. Yeah, because it was Cy's book, and then, oh no, never mind. Lance didn't write a book, but Michael Stinsett did.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yep. We did have him on to talk about that. Yep.
And then did your book come out this year, Anthony, or was that last year?
It was late last year.
Yeah, technically I had 2 books. I had 3 books come out last year, but that sounds ridiculous. 2, though, were right before the end of the year. The Great American Turtle Chase came out in December, right before the new year. And then the huge turtle preservation book that I co-authored with my friend and mentor Russ Gurley was in November. We debuted that at TTPG, which was just so special.
Yeah,
And that feels like many years ago, not 12 and a half months ago. That feels
Exactly.
like, yeah, it's just crazy how
Yeah.
time is crazy.
And we hauled a whole bunch of those from Connecticut to Chattanooga in August or July, I mean.
I hauled a whole bunch of those with me to Europe and almost
Yeah.
broke my back doing it. Yeah, those things, they're like 6 or 7 pounds each. It's insane.
How many did you have to bring back with you?
Bring back here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you
no.
sell them all?
Well, yeah, actually, I
Nice.
didn't. I think there was a couple I didn't sell, and I said just keep them. And if
In
you
Europe,
if you want to send me some money back when they sell,
Mm-hmm.
But I think I donated the last couple or something like that too, that they could just have them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to bring any back. I didn't want to bring a single one back because they're just
Heavy.
so heavy. Yeah, and I brought so many books that when I came home, I put my smaller suitcase in my big suitcase and just carried one bag and filled the small suitcase with my stuff. But I had like 60-70% of my luggage space was taken up on the way there that wasn't on the way back because all the books were gone. And most of those, the carry-on was just straight books because you think you have this big bag, but because of the weight limit, and when you have a book that weighs 6 pounds by itself, you're not going to fit many books. So my little carry-on, my little wheelie carry-on that fits in the overhead, it probably weighed, I'm not exaggerating, probably weighed 120 pounds if I had to guess, because it was just chock full of books.
Crazy.
Every square inch of that thing was full of books, and it was heavy.
Yeah.
I thought the bag was going to break. I thought the wheels were going to fly off, but I'm still using it. It made it through. I can't believe it. Yeah.
I'm sure TSA loved putting your bag on the plane. I'm sure.
Well, they didn't touch it. I wouldn't even let them touch. With that one, you're responsible for putting it up yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you had to precariously hold it, teetering over someone's head, putting it in the overhead.
Yes, I had to just fake it. Maybe I let out like a little grunt when I lifted it, but I had to fake it, like and just act like it was cool, and it weighed 50 pounds instead of 120.
All right, let's see. So more trivia. In June, that is when we introduced the ACTS program. Any updates on the ACTS programs? I know for those of us who were at TTPG, we did talk briefly about it, but for those of you who weren't, Anthony, do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, well, I spoke on it at the TSA and TTPG at both conferences. And again, we call it the TSA conference, even though that's not what it's actually called. That's just kind of shorthand, what everybody calls it. So, that's pretty much the update, is just the fact that, at TSA, the message was, here's the value of data-driven and conservation-minded private keepers, that we do have a place, so don't give up on us. And then took that same message to TTPG and said, hey, we might be getting left behind here. Let's make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure our work is above board and, an exemplary, an example of what it means to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem, because the lines get really blurred. So anyway, the ACTS program I used and we used as part of that, as just an example of like, this is just starting. We really haven't done accomplished a whole heck of a lot yet. It's just starting, but the foundation is there. And this is the type of thing that we're talking about. So we continue to talk about a lot of things behind the scenes. But when I think about this year and what we've accomplished around a lot of these newer initiatives that are in places where we just talked in circles for many years, it felt like at times, particularly around captive husbandry, which is supposed to be a pillar of what the Turtle Room does. So it was kind of a tough pill for me to swallow, to say like, okay, I'm going to now help oversee captive husbandry for the Turtle Room. What does that mean? Because people optically think that we're asking for donations for our animals that are in basements. Like, that's not at all what we're doing. We're trying to support real in situ conservation with that money. So anyway, like the ACTS program was a good example of like, this is who we are in terms of the captive side, but we're still not putting money towards it. But it helped us to kind of organize all of that. So that's the big update, is just the fact that it's there. We are working right now to try to figure out who the representatives for each of the ACTS councils will be. We have one for the Forstons Tortoise group now, which is really exciting. He was on the call. He was in the chat just a few moments ago, but it seems like,
shout him out.
well, it's Steven Cifuentes, who's breeding a ton of those, and has a ton of energy behind it. And that's what you need, right? It's the energy, but then also the collective knowledge of the group. So you look at someone like Steven, right? He's new to breeding Forstenii still, although he's kicking butt. I mean, he's probably producing more than anyone in the U.S. that I know of. There might be one or two people that could give him a run for his money. But then you look at Ben Forrest, who's been a part of the Turtle Room for 12 years now, something like that. Ben's a very close friend of ours and is so knowledgeable, one of the most knowledgeable and accomplished breeders of rare turtles and tortoises in the United States for sure, and just an amazing person. And he actually started the AZA SSP for Forston's tortoises when he worked at the Memphis Zoo like 20 years ago.
Wow.
And he's a part of it, and he's breeding them. And it's funny because after all these, these several decades that he's been breeding them, he's been kind of beaten down by the reality of like what it means to breed these rare animals in captivity, which is like, there's not that much interest in them and they're not easy to keep. And there's flash in the pan keepers who say they want them because they're rare. They hear that they're critically endangered. They're going to be extinct and they want in, but they're not willing to actually really dedicate themselves to it. And then they're moving on from animals and all of that. So you see like someone like Steven who is primed to step up and show what he can do. But then you also see someone like Ben who is invigorated by the fact that he doesn't feel like he's on a lonely island anymore. So this is the power of that sort of thing where we could bring people together and help them, together everyone truly achieves more. And yes, it's a corny acronym, but it really is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, admittedly, we're not as far as we might have liked to be at this point in the year, but it's a reminder that everything we do is volunteer based, right? And we're coordinating a bunch of people, and everybody on volunteer staff at the Turtle Room, everybody who's participating in acts is a volunteer, right? They've got their day job. They've got to take care of the turtles. And so, sometimes things you think you're going to have a season that might be slow with your day job and you might have more time to work on X, and instead it ends up being a busier time and you don't have time to work on X. So we're a little bit behind we're not quite where we wanted to be, but it's still moving forward, which is, that's life in all volunteer nonprofit, I think, is don't always necessarily get everywhere you want to get within a year, but you keep taking steps forward and slow and steady progress, like the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah. And that's so true. But I think there are so many things that I wanted to accomplish when I was just starting out, and I wanted to get it all done right away. And then I would get frustrated, and Steve knows this. I'm like the idea person, and Steve kind of checks me back a little bit. My wife does the same thing for me. I say, let's start a band. She says, none of us play instruments. So Steve was always that person for me, right? And that was a tough pill to swallow early on, but then you realize that even with the slow progress, you look up one day and you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how far we've come. I can't believe everything that we've accomplished. So anyway, this is another example of that. We haven't missed any deadlines. We haven't messed anything up. Again, we've built the foundation. Now, once we did that, things have kind of limped along a little bit. That's okay. But eventually, things will come together and a spark will ignite and that sort of thing. We're right there. We're totally poised for greatness. We just haven't totally knocked everything out of the park yet, but I'm very proud of the progress that we made and the fact that we were able to really, I think, make for impactful conversations, both in the TSA and the TTPG audience, which really feels like the two continue to kind of drift apart a little bit, kind of thinking about like American politics a little bit. In a general sense. And I think we need to do everything we can, those of us who are in a position to do so, or can thoughtfully find a way to try to do so, to try to come together with those that maybe don't see totally eye to eye with us, try to find some common ground, try to find a way, on the keeper side to legitimize who we are and what we're doing. Try to find a way on the institutional side, the biology side, to be a little bit more open to collaboration with people that come from different areas and see what we can do. But my experience has been nothing but amazing. I think I've shared this before. Did I talk about Turtle School on the podcast yet? What I did with TSA?
No,
I don't think
no,
so.
I don't think you did.
Okay, so I'll just throw this out there just because it goes along with this conversation. So after the TSA symposium, which is not called the TSA symposium, but we call it that for shorthand, I was asked to speak at Turtle School. And Turtle School is this amazing thing that the TSA does. It's not a big sexy thing that they talk about.
Yes.
Did I talk about this on the podcast, Emily, or just
You did not know, but I've been wanting to go for like 2 years now.
Okay, yeah.
So
you've
yeah.
seen this because of the
Yeah.
Colonial Taxon Advisory Group. Yeah, the tag.
Yeah, Colonial
They
tag.
call it within the zoo area, and because you run a zoo, you help. You get alerts that this thing is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, it's an opportunity for keepers who want to focus in turtles to go down to the Turtle Survival Alliance and be part of a week-long workshop with presentations by like leading experts in turtle husbandry and other turtle related things. So you've got amazing veterinarians. There were 3 different veterinarians who spoke before me on the day that I spoke. You have these amazing zookeepers who are real turtle experts like Bill Hughes and Mike Ogle and Jeff Dawson, like I get chills as I say all these names, and then you have people there like Chris Hagan, who's one of the most knowledgeable turtle generalists like in the entire world. And then you're there with all the turtles. It was incredible. So they must have had one of the like presenters back out last minute because they asked me like a month before and I had a really busy travel schedule. And I'm like, one of these things does not belong. It's me. Like, okay, I was so grateful. Like, I couldn't believe that they would ask. So like, I'll make it work. I have to make it work. And they offered to pay for my travel and expenses and all that. But I told them I'd rather donate it back. It felt really good. It was just a really feel good thing. And anyway, it just kind of underscores like my experience with them this year. Like I'm used to TTPG, this inviting, it's like Cheers. Like sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Like it just feels special to go to TTPG. TSA is a professional conference and there are people there who are looking for people that they can work with, that they can partner with on their research. They're not just looking to geek out with whatever person likes the same species of animal that they do. So that was different. But once I kind of got past that and got used to like, those differences, I mean, the TSA, they welcomed us with open arms. They were so good to Steve. They were so good to myself. They ran this captive husbandry, this captive conservation session that Steve chaired. They hadn't done that for several years. Steve hadn't been going. He had chaired it in the past. They brought it back. They brought out Chris Leone. They brought in, Dave Drzeski, who does redheaded podocs, redhead Amazon river turtles, Podognemis erythrocephala to talk. And like, I felt like collectively we represented the keeper side so well. And they gave us the platform to do that in front of all these big time people. And I know we talked about that on that episode where we recapped the TSA, but when you look at that and you look at, the Turtle School thing that I was invited, they didn't have to do any of this stuff. They are actively looking to collaborate with us, with everyone. They're just at the same time outgrowing who they were at the very beginning when they were, publishing significant breedings from the private side at the beginning. So anyway, this is a lot of the messaging that I shared at the TTPG portion of my talks, my speaking engagements this year. I'll be quiet.
I was going to try to bring up the episode that we talked about TSA so I could keep plugging like that's my MO this whole episode.
Yeah, if you're interested, that's episode 120.
But my laptop just decided to shut down, so I'm like awkwardly standing here like hitting my password.
Okay.
That was episode number 124.
124, that's what I said. Exactly. Nailed it.
Thanks.
Yeah. So check it out. Yeah, but I just like collaborate. That's the moral of the story. And what I talked about at TTPG was, if you're a keeper and you grew up like me, just feeling like the way to make a difference in the world was to just hatch as many eggs as you could, it just may not be the narrative that we want to push anymore, and it just may not be true. It just may not. So, do I still want to hatch as many eggs as I can? Yes. It's nothing makes me happier than seeing a turtle hatch out of an egg. It's just my thing. It's what I love more than anything. As a nerd, obviously I love my family very much. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying like it's just that thing I love. But I asked on the stage at TTPG, if I hatch 20 as opposed to 15 different species, or if I hatch 500 hatchlings instead of 250, like, does that make me that much more successful in conservation? The answer is no, because these animals aren't actually going back to the range country 99.99999% of the time. It may piss you off to hear that. It hurt me when I was hearing these things for the first time. But understand that the data that we pull from what we do can actually impact conservation. So the example I always go to is the Burmese star tortoise. That species was saved in situ in Myanmar because of data that was shared from keepers, including private keepers. So that is how we make the difference. So if you're not somebody who likes to write, or if you're not somebody who feels comfortable sharing, okay, but stop calling what you do conservation if you're not willing to share what you're doing.
I just have one thing I want to say after that whole beautiful dialogue.
Was it beautiful? I think it was a monologue, actually, because I was just filibustering by myself.
Oh, you didn't need to, because I was just waiting, because I really needed to add that the whole thing about you saying I want to make a band, and then people being like, we don't even play instruments. It's been almost exactly 1 year since you were like, I want to start a Turtle Society. Let's start one. And you started a group chat with me, the Kevins, and Mark, and you were like, can we just do it? And we were like, okay, how? And you were like, I don't know, just figure it out, I guess. And so, I don't know, I'm trying to remember. I think it was me and Mark who were just like, we're the action people. So we're like, all right, we're going to do this. We got to do this. This is what we need. This. And we're very plan oriented. Whereas you're just like, I've got the idea. I've got the concept. You guys run with it. And so it was about one year ago, because I think it was actually October, technically.
It was a big year this year.
Yeah.
It's funny because I mentioned that I had 3 books that were published last year. That was just kind of things came together that way. Like the book with Russ took us like 5 years to write. The book that I published in February of last year with my wife, Turtly Devoted to You, that book we had written for several years. It just happened to be finished up last year. And then the Great American Turtle Chase was a quick one because I went on an 8-day trip and then wrote about it. Coming into this year, I had no plans. I wasn't writing a book, and it felt really weird. But when I sit and think about, the Turtle Society, all the speaking engagements and the travel, the breeding turtles, did I say the Turtle Society? I did. ACTS, what we did building the foundation for ACTS, what we continue to do with the Kleinmann Assurance Project, all of these things, YouTube and things like that, have been really exciting. And I don't know, it's cool to see things happening in different arenas and to step out of my comfort zone a little bit and try to do some new stuff. Also, I wrote my first peer-reviewed scientific paper as well, which hasn't officially been accepted, but I was told unofficially that it was being accepted. So I think that's good. But these things, to my knowledge, just take a while to come together. And then we also started publishing some stuff on our own with Colonological Contributions as well. So lots of things.
Yeah, when
8,000 subscribers, by the way.
That's right.
Before, on your YouTube. So heck yeah.
Yeah, so when I think of new stuff, right? We have the journal, right? We have ACTS, we have the Connecticut Turtle Society, we have the collaboration with CTNC in Vietnam with the Core Pictorata that you guys all help support by purchasing those shirts back on World Turtle Day. we marked our 150th wood turtle at a single site in the field. Like we completed 10 years of wood turtle work. 10. That if you include the first year, that was all preliminary work, but it has been essentially 10 years since Anthony, myself, Eric Muncher, and Jordan Gray hopped out there. For that first one, we've done 10 years of spring and falls since then, basically.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. And so it was a big year. We got a lot done. Anthony toured the world speaking. Yeah, a lot going on.
I'm feeling it. We're doing this like end of year episode. I know it's December 1st, but it hasn't felt like the end of year for me. I'm not done traveling. And it doesn't feel like it, but to actually be at this point and to be saying this actually feels really exciting, because now it feels like there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So I appreciate you guys.
How about, I guess, well, first of all, we have the ticker going down at the bottom of the screen. I was kind of hoping Steve was going to flash us his shirt as part of that, right?
Flash us what? What are you going to flash us?
This is the shirt from this summer.
Okay.
Yeah. But we have a new one coming out, and it's available
it's out
until
it's
December
available.
5th. Or it's out, until December 5th.
It's out, baby. And boy, is it a special one. Woo!
It's pretty. I voted on the color.
You go, Em.
And I picked it solely based on my own complexion and nothing else.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's one reason why I ask everybody, is because it's important to get a wide variety of those things. So
vote for what you want for yourself, because chances are somebody else is going to like it too.
Yeah.
That's it.
So we have the new t-shirt campaign, and then our calendars have arrived. That's also going down there on the ticker on the bottom. Oh, I'll just bring it back. Let's talk about the shirts first. Look at that. Look at how cute they are. Look at how pretty that color is. Excellent choice.
I was a little concerned about the flowers. Like, is this going to look like a little too ladylike? Because most of our viewership is of a certain demographic. Let's just put it that way. I could say that as a bald white guy. But this is sharp. It's sharp, and the reds in the turtle, and that kind of peach color in the turtle are echoed in the title and in the flowers, and it's beautiful. And that's actually a hibiscus flower that is native to Okinawa as well, which is where that species, which is where that species Geomyta japonica is from.
Yeah, so Dan, we actually worked with Bonfire on designing these. They're our team of artists. There's an artist that I think the same artist has done both of these last two shirts for us. But anyway, yeah, so they don't tell us who exactly that person is. There's always a go-between between the artist and the client, but that's who has helped us with these last couple shirts.
Isn't that awesome?
And then the last, yeah. So
I needed nothing else but to drop $200 on t-shirts right now. Yeah.
$200. You only have to buy one, Anthony.
I know, but I had to. This is one of my species, So like, it was over before it started. Did you
actually buy $200 worth of t-shirts?
I don't think I think I'm exaggerating. I think I spent like $160 or something like that.
That's a lot.
I know.
How many shirts does that equal?
I think 4, because I got like long sleeve
sweatshirts. You got hoodies,
sweatshirt, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think larger sizes are more too. I get like the big boy.
Yeah, some of the big sizes get an extra little.
When your shirt is big enough to double as a parachute, it costs a little bit more.
I get a children's size large.
Yeah, of course you do. Oh my gosh, that's too good.
Okay, so
we do have children's sizes available, by the way, for those wondering. So
Emily knows. Yeah.
The calendar. I have been trying to promote the calendar. I keep falling all over my words today. The calendar they have arrived. They will be shipping soon. I wrote soon in parentheses because you gave me a more detailed explanation, but I couldn't write that fast.
That's okay. Yeah, soon. I'm going to start getting them out this week. They just arrived, so.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to fill it in. I have one in my office.
Yeah.
So, and then the older T-shirts are available too.
I was just going to say
some
it.
old,
some of the
A
older
couple of them.
ones. Yeah, the Turtle Hero one, the one that Steve is wearing, and then I think you said there was another one too, right?
The Wood Turtle one. Yeah.
Wood Turtle one. Yes,
That's right.
That's
The
right.
Wood Turtle one is there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Be a Turtle Hero one, the Wood Turtle one, and the Pictorata shirt that Steve's wearing, those are kind of the greatest hits that I think people ask about. Like, darn, I missed it. Can you make that available again, sort of thing? And I felt the same way about the Be a Turtle Hero one. Like, I wore those shirts until they were falling apart. So it's another reason why I spent so much on shirts this go around, because when that was made available, I'm like, well, I got to get one more of those. So I like that one a lot, with the Turtle Room logo in the circle that doubles as the O in Hero. It's a pretty cool design.
Yeah. So that one's actually now permanently available in the Bonfire store whenever you want. You don't have to wait for a batch. You can just go order one of those. So the Be a Turtle Hero shirts are permanently available. The others are only running through Friday again. So, and it, might be the last time for the Wood Turtle t-shirt, but might be the last time for the Pictorata t-shirt too. So don't wait.
Okay,
You
so
heard it here, folks.
Pictorata and Wood Turtle and
even the Japonica, we'll see.
Are going to close.
We'll see
those three are going to close.
They will close, right? They close on the 5th. No guarantee we open them back up again. So
don't blow it. I can't tell you how many people come up to me and say, where do I get that shirt? Don't blow it. Tell your friends and get the shirt now.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we could do one of those like TV ads, like, now's your chance, don't blow it, you've got 10 more minutes to buy this shirt, and blah blah blah. But I'm not that good, so I tried. I like the added the Turtle Room on the back of the shirts now. Yeah.
We didn't do that with the first Wood Turtle run, but we've done it since, and we've we started doing that with the Be a Turtle Hero shirts, and then kind of added it in afterwards. So
I like it. It gives us the opportunity to have a really nice, like, detailed design without feeling like we have to try to squeeze the logo into it on the front.
Mm-hmm.
It works for sure. And then it's free advertising, which I'm sure the donations just keep rolling in because of the free advertising on our hoodies. Maybe not.
Plans for 2026. So Anthony, earlier you mentioned that, or maybe Steve, it was one of you. One of you mentioned that we didn't necessarily meet all of the goals that we wanted to this year, but we were really hopeful for next year. So what does 2026 look like for the Turtle Room? Do we have new goals that we're setting, new organizations we're looking to collaborate with, new projects we want to start? What do you think?
Well, as always, we'll have a new calendar partner for next year's calendar. We look for a new organization every year, so that won't change. We will be looking at potentially starting other projects with current partners or future partners, to be determined. We've been talking about some things with our friends in Vietnam as well. We've got some grants that are out there. Hopefully we get money from those grant applications, and then we can start those projects, or expand some of those projects. We'll hopefully have some forward movement. I think next year might be there might be less new, but there might be more forward movement. Hopefully we're finding more core Pictorata in the field next year, so we can track more than 3 of them. The goal is I think there's like 10 or 12 transmitters that were bought already. So hopefully we get a bunch more of those transmitters on turtles, and that's a step forward for that project. During this calendar year, I think it was this year, some of you might remember the Kinexis project that we supported in Africa. This year that took a step forward. Those animals were released into the wild from the soft release pens, and so now they're getting tracking data on those, right? That's a step forward that should continue next year. I was told recently by our partner in Vietnam that some of you might remember that we supported some previous work with Geomydas bengleri and Cora galbinifrons. And so a paper has been submitted for review that includes some of the work that we funded on that. And so we'll hopefully be able to give you more updates about that project in 2026 as well. So, that's kind of like that's oftentimes for a lot of projects, that's kind of like that final cycle is, okay, we're publishing something from this. So
I saw a little bit on that at Turtle School that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And I literally had a tear forming in my eye that like, this is the coolest data right now that I'm seeing being shown to professionals that we had, a part in making happen or supporting. We didn't do it. They did all the work, but like we supported because of the people that supported us. So,
right.
So cool. So cool. Do you have anything else, Steve? I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, you go.
Yeah, it's funny. There's so many things, but a lot of them are tentative-ish at this point. So, there's not a whole lot specific that I would like to share now because I feel like things could fall through and then that'd make me a liar. So what I will say is my goal became very clear at TSA and then into TTPG, and as the stuff I was talking about earlier. I'm very motivated to try to help the well-meaning, conscientious and conservation-minded keeper to upscale what they're doing, to try to actually figure out like the baseline for like, well, what does it really mean to do the best we can to support conservation, to prove that we're doing things the right way, to prove that we're in this for the long haul, to prove that we are legitimate partners in legitimate conservation. So I have some ideas. I don't want to push anything too specifically yet, but I'm excited to continue.
I'm so curious now.
I know I have some real I started to talk about it like on the stage at TTPG, but I feel like just getting up there and saying it, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that's important for like getting, lighting that spark, igniting that little fire. But really, what are we going to do moving forward to really help support people in doing that, as opposed to just squawking at them and saying you should do better? What does that really look like? How am I really helping? How am I personally doing everything I can do? Because I'm not doing everything I can do. So who am I to stand up there and say you should be better when I need to be better? So just kind of dedicating oneself, and hopefully the work that we do at the Turtle Room and in partnership with folks like the TTPG to say, okay, what's the low-hanging fruit? What does it make sense to focus on and start to set up so that it makes it easier? I did a workshop for the TTPG. It's probably a year and a half ago now, 2 years ago, I don't know, on writing. It was basically just like, let's write about turtles. And there were a couple people this year who wrote for the first time in the Badager. One of them came to that workshop and felt inspired. Like two of them felt inspired. Like, okay, I can do this. And then another one, Mark Da Silva, is a close friend who I helped in what he was doing. He had other help as well. So I'm not trying to take credit for what he did, but like, that's the really powerful stuff. There are people though that are writing for the Badager that, okay, how can we help them take the next step and say, okay, you've been writing for the Badager. Let's take that now. And let's start submitting a paper or two on the really cool stuff or the really data-driven stuff that you're doing, and get that into a scientific journal so that we're actually, making it official, and we can point to those things. Because a lot of what we see, hi, Wendy, I didn't drop your name, but you're absolutely right. I was talking about you, you and Damon both actually. You guys did such a good job. The Badager took such a step forward this year. It was like a renaissance year for the Badager. Like, not every year is that thing quite as sexy as it is some other years. This was the best conference I've ever been to this year, and also that was probably the best Badager that there's ever been in terms of just the breadth of information that's in it. So anyway, how do we take everything that we're doing and help people take the next step and get their information out there? That's the goal. So if you're not writing in the Badager, write in the Badager. If you're not getting on stage and presenting, think about doing that. And if you are writing, how do you write the next thing, right? I wrote a Badager article with Steve because I was scared to do it myself in 2014.
It's a long
And
time
then,
ago, man.
and then I became an author. I became an author because of the Badager journal, the Badager magazine newsletter, and because of Russ Gurley. So, you know, the opportunity to build on this stuff is there, and we have the time to do it. So, you know, turtles are long lived. So how do we, you know, work like a turtle and just keep plugging along slowly but surely? And so we could look up one day and say, holy crap, we really did change the game and change how we do this stuff and change the narrative from hatch as many eggs as you can to make the biggest impact you can.
I feel like that's a big goal for 2026, but I feel like that's a really good one. And I just want to bring something back that you, so this, when we were at the conference, the TTPG conference, every time I met someone new and they were like, oh, you know, who introduced you? How did you become affiliated here? And I would say, oh, well, I'm actually friends with Anthony. And then everyone would be like, oh, Anthony. Oh, okay. All right. That's it. Yeah. The big guy. Yeah. And for those who don't know, I don't know if I've mentioned it on here or not. I am going back to school and I'm already starting to plan my thesis for my master's. And so a few people I introduced myself to, I mentioned my thesis, and I think to 3 or 4 different people I mentioned, well, Anthony says that Galapagos tortoises are too sexy and that I should do Connexus instead. And that sentence came out of my mouth like 4 different times, and every single time I said that, the people who I was talking to were like, yes, that is exactly what Anthony said. I know it. I can hear him saying it without you even saying it. And it's just that word is like trademarked to you now.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh, he definitely said that. I put this hoodie on because I was cold. Now I'm sweating.
Yeah.
It's funny.
The podcast always turns up the heat, doesn't it, Anthony?
All those sexy giant tortoises, yeah.
But I think you're right. By the way, the more I learned about Galapagos, I was like, darn, they are really sexy. A lot of people have been studying them for a while. I might end up going with Connexus, but don't tell anyone I said that.
I will. I have these odd traditions at TTPG. I just want to throw this out there. Thursday morning at TTPG, I go for a run with Harley, and we did that this year again. And Austin Miller actually joined us for a 4-mile jog. And then I was like apologizing the whole time for slowing them down because I'm slower than them. And then the next day, Friday morning, actually no, this year was Friday, Saturday. Anyway, Saturday morning, the next day, I went for a power walk with Cord Offerman, Dr. Cord Offerman, who is, I always joke about, Chris Leone being America's turtle sweetheart, like turtle heartthrob. Cord is up there. Cord is very, very popular, and rightfully so. He's a veterinarian who has the gift of gab, who can do the people part, which is so rare, right? I know from my professional experience, it's rare when you have a veterinarian who's just so cool, Anyway, I was talking to him about your project, and he disagreed with me and actually made some really, really great points that there is, because if you're choosing something that's sexier, there is so much data there for you to draw from, as opposed to something where there isn't any. So I think it just depends what type of work you want to do. If you really want to get in the nitty gritty and compile a bunch of data and read a bunch of other papers to support whatever you're doing, then it makes sense to go with something sexy like the Galops. But if you're trying to just come up with something really novel, maybe even simple, then maybe something like Connexus works. But I think either way, you want to have access to a bunch of animals. So either one of those could be good, because we can get you in to see large collections of both, if captive animals are okay. Yeah, Chris knows Cord. Yeah, he's an absolute nut and a great human being. He is. It's that juxtaposition, it's like hanging out with like the coolest guy in the frat and the most knowledgeable veterinarian, and it's the same person. Like, that's a very, very rare combination. So
There's also a vote in the chat for Egyptian tortoises for my thesis instead. That's not a bad
Oh.
idea.
It's
Yeah.
not bad.
Are
Yeah.
they data deficient too? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty much any rare turtle is going to be pretty high on the list. There's a lot of turtles that are really heavily studied because of like their cold tolerance and things like that, and they're common, like Western painteds and red ear sliders. And then there are, sexier animals that may be rare, but they're sexy. So sea turtles, Galapagos tortoises, that sort of thing. But outside of that, I think turtles in general are pretty poorly known. So there's a lot of poorly known species that you could have access to that are cool. But again, I think it just depends on which type of experience you want to have. Do you want to be coming up with something novel that maybe isn't groundbreaking, but is important? Like I mentioned to you, I think I wrote the only 2 articles on Pelusio's nanus, at least the only 2 that I know of, which is messed up because I'm no expert, but there was nothing. And especially when I wrote that first one 10 years ago now, there was nothing. I mean, I went through all the scientific literature. There was nothing in the pet keeper side. There's just nothing. Like you couldn't even find a paragraph online. There was like one weird obscure book from the 70s that had barely any information. And then my friend Frank Bonner's book on, Bonen's book on Turtles of the World, the red book that has the Kinasternin, the mud turtle on the cover. That one had a nice paragraph, but like I felt like I was doing something important. And then over the last 10 years, people reach out to me to ask me questions about that species. Like I'm not the expert on those. I just happen to be the only one to write anything. So they find my name.
Yeah.
It's weird. So yeah, do you want to be that person or do you want to have a bunch of data that you can compile to put into your work? Pros and cons.
I didn't mean to hijack this, but thank you.
Oh, I love it. No, this is the type of great conversation that we can have on this. Like I've always said, I want the podcast to feel like you're in a car ride with us. We're on the way to like Hamburg, or now we'd probably go to Oaks or something like that. Or we're doing like the Florida turtle tours, or we're in Arizona and we're going from the Wildlife World Zoo to Andrew's house or whatever. We're in the car and we're just turtle people and we're just having a conversation. So it makes total sense to talk about that. And I've hijacked this entire conversation the whole time.
So, I mean, if there's anyone in chat who wants to pipe in and give me ideas for my thesis too, I'm an open book. So, or open ears rather. Yeah.
There you go. I said you should do Geomida japonica and we could partner with our friends in Okinawa, because the wild ones are shaped so much differently than the captive ones. And we've got a whole bunch of captive ones to get information from, and they've got access to all those wild ones and measurements that if they were willing to share could really make a heck of a paper.
Yeah,
that's true.
Agreed.
Like that's a paper that would be, I know I said this here already, but that's a paper that would be like cited if somebody was talking about captive versus wild anything. Like you could say, oh, these. Oh,
it would have to be,
because it's
always
like
low hanging fruit.
Specific data that's so stark. I mean, the captive raised ones are literally twice the size of the wild ones for no reason besides just growth rates and diet. Anyway, I'll be quiet.
No, that's good. I've got a running list here. All right, so we have like two-ish minutes left before we're gonna get the hook here. So we're gonna do rapid fire, fast facts. Okay, what's the newest turtle that you have from this whole year?
The newest turtle I have is a pair of adult Graptomus pearlensis were just gifted to me 5 weeks ago. So I now have adults of all 5 broadhead map turtle species in the house now. So
that is cool. Anthony, what's your newest turtle? Quick.
I don't know.
Are you just saying that because Shannon is standing next to you and she's threatening you?
Blink twice if you're in trouble. I don't even know. I don't know. It's probably like a hatchling. I don't know. I don't think I have anything new.
Okay.
Is
Mine
that
is
bad?
Bacon. No, that's okay. That's all right. This is rapid fire. Mine is Bacon, the Egyptian tortoise, and he is the male. Yes, his name is Bacon. And because
Love it.
my other turtle's lunchbox, it goes. Okay, what's the turtle you've had the longest, Steve?
My first turtle, I still have her, so I've had her for 20 years and 6 months plus a couple days.
Oh,
It's pretty awesome.
okay.
Mine
Eastern
is
painted turtle.
Mine is my first group of spider tortoises, which is 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
15
Which is
plus.
around the same time I got the barbers. They line up as a pair together.
Mine is my Indian spotted. So okay.
Nice.
Turtle. What did I write? Turtle MVP of the. Oh, okay. Turtle MVP of the year. So that is the turtle who you are the most happiest with this year. Most happiest. So that could either be someone who is the least problematic and gets MVP, someone who produced the most eggs for you and is MVP, or just turtle you just all around loved the most this year. Steve, starting with you. Your eyes got really big.
Oh man, this is tough.
I'll go first.
Tough.
Mine is my hingeback. God, I'm so obsessed with her. I could stare at her all day long and just be happy. Was that enough time?
Sure. I'm gonna pick the Alabama map because it's new, and so she was first time layer for me, but she also produced 18 offspring, so it's kind of a combination. Had a couple others that set records for their species, but they've all been cranking eggs out a good long while. So I'm gonna go with my adult Alabama map, Grafton's Pulchra. Yeah.
Anthony, MVP.
I was muted. I'm going to go with my female Indo-Chinese box turtle, Cora galbinifrons, flowerback box turtle. She did not produce any young this year, and she never has, but she keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And this year she actually produced a viable egg for the first time.
Yay!
So here's
MVP.
hoping for the future. Yeah, that was a big one, but
Mm-hmm.
still chasing that gold.
Okay, I'm running out of time. I'm going over on time. Favorite guest of the year. Ha ha ha.
For me, I'll go first since I have one. For me, it was Skibsted.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let me just tell you, I can't remember all the guests, so I'm just things that pop in my head. So if you were a guest and you're heartbroken, please forgive me. But like Justin is a new person in my life this year. He's on our board. He came on in the post TSA episode. I love him so much, but I'm going to pick Skibsted because, I mean, that kid, we've known him since he was so young, and he is still so young. And here he is contributing with these amazing rock stars in the turtle conservation world in this incredible book. I can't wait to see it. So I ordered my copy. I can't wait for it to come. But that was a really cool highlight to have him talking to us from that vantage point as a new author.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go with either Scott Thompson or Justin as well. That's kind of where I was with that. So,
see, Scott was a great one that I forgot, but yes,
yeah,
Scott was a great guest.
He was
awesome guy.
My favorite was Lance, hearing about Madagascar and about where just the native habitat for radiateds and just like comparing what we as keepers think of their native habitat and how we should keep them versus what it's like in the wild. And just his stories on Madagascar, that was really cool. So, okay, who do you want most for next year? And guests or all of our supporters who are listening, go ahead and throw a name in the chat if you're interested in someone specifically too. But who do you want most for next year?
I'd like to have Forrest Galante, maybe David Attenborough.
I'll call him.
If we could.
Okay. Steve? Okay, mine is, I don't know if I remember his name, so if I'm saying the wrong last name, Kylie Briggs?
Kylie Briggs. Oh, from Orient Society. Yeah, he'd be a great. I connected with him at TSA. He definitely would be willing to come on. So we just need to send him the message.
I love that.
Yeah.
See, Emily really thinking for real, right? And let us know in the chat too if there's anyone. Please let us know in the chat if there's anyone that you would recommend. Especially if it's someone we could get. Don't let us know if it's David Attenborough, because I don't think we can get him.
Yeah.
And probably after Dancing with the Stars, Steve Irwin's son is not going to be as accessible. So you can leave him off your list too, Anthony.
Is that what did it? Dancing with the Stars finally. Now everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was awesome too. He was absolutely awesome. Excellent entertainer, out of his comfort zone, killed it. Just absolutely awesome.
I think so too. And then, did you meet all of your turtle goals for this year?
No.
Oh, sorry. I was expecting a yes.
Captive wise, yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's what. Period. Yes. Awesome. And I didn't have any turtle goals this year. So then, yes,
that means yes. Met. You far surpassed. In some areas, I far surpassed. In other areas, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tough on myself. What do you want me to say?
Yeah. All right. Thank you for playing.
Ryan, in case you weren't aware, Bindi Irwin also won Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. So they're the first sibling winners.
Yeah, and if Steve was alive for Dancing with the Stars, he would have won too.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
100%. So nimble and talk about being an entertainer. Totally. I mean, that's just athleticism mixed with charisma. It's both. It's like Cord Offerman. It's like two things that don't always come together.
Yeah. Well, thank you for playing this year's episode of Year in Review, Rapid Fire. Join us next year for another episode.
Let's go. We're going to make it through this whole winter and everything. I love it.
All right. Before we go real quick, T-shirts, Bonfire Store, calendars, our web store. That's your mission. All right. Grab your calendar, grab your shirt. I'm hoping to do 3 more shirts at least in 2026. All right.
Don't tell at now they're not going to get this
in-house artist. Our own Miranda might do a design for next year for us again, and I'll but I'm looking at a couple shirts. So anyway, we're not going to stop with protecting what's rare.
I have something I want to add. Oh my gosh, I would buy a shirt if Anthony painted one. Yeah. That was a polite no.
I like to under promise and over deliver. So when it comes to artwork, I'll promise, and Steve knew, I'll promise nothing. But you never know.
Anthony has done artwork for T-shirts for us before, so.
Okay. My wallet is ready.
Dang it. Oh.
So happy December. We won't see you all before the holidays, so have a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, enjoy it. And we'll be back with you in January for more of the podcast.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody, and have a good new year, and we'll see you in January, right? Yeah.
Love you all. Be a turtle
hero. Everyone. Bye.